Hello everyone and welcome to another historic video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a Convoke Samwise GMG deck yet again in historic in a post-nerf Bowmaster format. So I have changed the deck quite a bit. We can't play the Orcish Bowmaster anymore, and the Bowmaster actually helped quite a bit in accelerating things like Port of Calling, Knight Errant WOs as early as possible, but you can't do that anymore with the Orcish Bowmaster because it no longer generates a token. So what I thought of was actually going back to some of the aggro Convoke list that I've done previously with Ornithopters. So I think Ornithopter in this deck is pretty sick, especially in game 1. It can really take your opponent by surprise, because if you go with Ropeline Attendant on turn 2 and then you play a bunch of Ornithopters on turn 2 as well, then you might even be able to get the Knight Errant WOs going as early as turn 2, which is kind of ridiculous. Obviously, this does require double Ornithopter start with Ropeline Attendant and a Knight Errant WOs. That is a tall order, but it can definitely happen. But even if you don't get that combo right with the Ornithopters and the Ropeline Attendant, this card just has a lot of synergy in this deck. As I mentioned before, it does have nice synergy with Ropeline Attendant. It accelerates the Convoke cost in this deck, especially with Knight Errant WOs, as I've said before, and Court of Calling, which is going to be our integral part of the combo in getting our Samwise combo together with Woe Strider and Cauldron Familiar, and of course Yawgmoth as a substitute for the Woe Strider as well. And on top of that, we are playing Elven Chorus in the main deck, which we also benefit off of having multiple creatures on the battlefield, and Ornithopter does accomplish that. Having an Ornithopter in your deck does accelerate how fast you push out creatures onto the battlefield, and if you do get the Elven Chorus down, then Ornithopter's gonna start generating mana, right? There's a lot of synergy here with Ornithopter, and I'm curious to see how it goes. So having said that, we're going to be jumping into some historic best of 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Okay. This is actually a good matchup. We're actually only missing one combo piece, and then we win the game. So Court of Calling does it. I think I'm just going to play Elven Chorus. What should I do? I could just play Cauldron Familiar. I should just play this. Like, I'm kind of screwed at the moment. Mana screwed. So this does actually help out a ton. Oh, wow. Karn is not a good sign. Yeah, Karn is not a good sign. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. They have 7 mana with Karn. I think the best thing they can do is actually get Pitting Needle with Karn. I actually think that is the case. And call Cauldron Familiar. That does actually kind of do it. Let me see if I can find a land on top. Non-artifact spells. This is gonna be a long combo. Nice. Okay, I thought I didn't have the mana, but I actually did, so... Rats for me. Cyclade Apparition and a Haywire Might will do. They're actually playing all copies of Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic, maybe? Perhaps. I think this is a game where Ornithopter can go. Although it does actually help out how fast we combo though. It actually really does. I'm gonna go down on the Yawgmoth. Maybe not. They have a lot of elves. Yeah, they have a lot of elves. Okay, let's do this. I want to test out the Ornithopters, but like they really need to shine on game 1. But they don't usually come out early enough. Let's go with Gilded Goose first. Okay, I could really speed up the combo. But if they had a Kiora, I think they would have played a Kiora there. I think I'm gonna Juggernaut. I'm kind of scared. Because if these are Nykthos, they might be able to actually just run it out. Yeah. But these are lands. Why didn't it tap this? Guess it really didn't matter too much. Okay, we have the combo, right? If they transform this, we win the game. Yeah, mono green is probably one of the better matchups we have. Nice. Nice. It's a bit slow, isn't it? But I think it can work. Even if we skip turn 2, just because we're going first, I think it can work. I think give you a second with this hand. I think that's definitely a mulligan, but... They're also playing a Samwise Gamgee deck. We want more green for Convoke. Linvala main deck. I don't think we can beat that. Yeah, Linvala main deck. That's a bit much. Like, who hurt them? Like, who hurt them? That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. What did they do to you? Yeah, we really want the Ornithopters to show up with the ropeline attendant, but it really isn't happening. Should I try to force it? Maybe I should try to force it. Yeah, I keep cutting Ornithopters, right? Like, it's a value machine paired up with the ropeline attendant, but I'm conflicted. Yeah, I'm really conflicted. But yeah, that is crazy. That happened. Who hurt them, man? Who hurt them? Linvala main deck. Misery Shadow. I don't want to attack with the Woe Strider, right? I want to block with the goat. So yeah, like this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like oh, I forgot about the light halfling. I thought it required black mana. That's my bad. Whoops. Yeah, that's definitely my bad. I'm actually just going to run out a shield right here. Because the Experimental Confectioner combo actually requires them to draw a card. Actually just gonna get rid of the Misery Shadow so I can attack here. Yeah, Ropeline Attendant is kind of amazing when it works. Yeah, let's actually go down on the Samwise GMG. They have way too many hate cards. They have Misery Shadow, they have Lenvala. It's possible. Okay, we got a land. I won't complain even if it's not the land that I was looking for. Chatterfang. We're in a bit of a pickle. I think we just run out Yagamoth. So good. Let's go with a Woe Strider. And another Knight. So what should I do here? I could... I feel like I need to kill the Sam. Yeah, let's kill the Sam. Might have to kill the Lonus. Yeah, Lonus too. Sam is the priority here, and then Lonus. Did my opponent give up? Kind of feel like it's not over yet, because I am sacrificing my board to do this. But I'm preemptively killing their stuff because they have Court of Calling in their deck, probably. Did we actually play a land this turn? We did. And then we Court of Calling for 1 and win the game next turn. Did I have a Court of Calling? Oh, did I miss lethal? I think I did. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not 100% if I drew Court of Calling. I swear, if I had Court of Calling, I would have used it though. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that I didn't have a Court of Calling and I drew into it with the Yagamoth. Because otherwise, I think I would have definitely seen it. We have Samwise, Yagamoth, Court of Calling, right? I think I would have seen it. Yeah, I think I would have seen it. And basically, we're just going to, if they try to respond with a Chatterfang and kill the Samwise Gamgee, we can, all we have to do is sacrifice the food token, kill the Goose, and then get rid of the Chatterfang with the Fatal Push, and then Court of Calling. Nice. Oh, we finally have it! Oh my god. We actually have it. So what is this, like, turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos? Boom. Boom. Wow. You know, just a casual 9 power board. You know. Don't mind me. And the funny thing is, even if they do Divine Purge, I should actually just Flow Strider. In case they do Divine Purge, I want to get rid of these things. Yeah, so if they do Divine Purge and Ornithopter goes to Graveyard, you do have to pay the mana. But the funny thing is, the Perpetual text still is there. Nice. Okay. I think they are a control deck. I think so. I do think so. Yeah. So how do we want to sideboard? I mean, that was such an insane start with Ornithopter, but what should I do? Do we keep the Ornithopters? We do have to board in Juggernaut Peddlers. We need some Viconias. We need Sheoldred. So I feel like... probably not? Let's go with this. I mean, that hand was insanity. We will probably never see a hand like that ever again. Oh! Oh, speaking of which... interesting. Well, well, well. If it isn't Ropeline Attendant. My favorite card. Like, this is such a cool card. Like, this is such a cool card. I feel like this is like, it's such a well-designed alchemy card. Because you can't do this in paper, right? You can't do this in paper. Unless... actually, there is a way to achieve this in paper. And that is by revealing your entire hand. And then keep those cards revealed, basically. I'm gonna go with Samwise Gamgee first. I think they'll most likely counter it. That's stuck. Okay, well, if that's stuck, I'm not gonna play anything. Because they're about to board wipe next turn. There's no reason why I should play any of these cards. Yeah, they're just gonna board wipe. They're just going to board wipe. Oh. Wow, they have a lot. Exile target. Wow, Fragment Reality. Part of me wanted to Samwise Gamgee into Young Wolf. They're passing. They're thinking about playing out the Juggernaut. I don't think it's very wise. Another ropeline attendant. I'll just play out ropeline attendant. What if they play out Teferi though? Maybe I do have to play Samwise Gamgee. Let's not be greedy. I'll play the Samwise Gamgee. This way, if I draw a land, then I can go ropeline attendant into Samwise Gamgee. Wow, another board wipe. So we're looking for an untapped land here. Why didn't they use their march on their turn? They have nothing. 2, 3, 4. I think I'll play out the Woe Strider to fix my hand. Yeah. They're looking for a board wipe. They did not find it. Okay. I think I just attack with all. And I'll play another ropeline attendant and pass the turn. That means if they board wipe, we can get back the Woe Strider onto the battlefield. The Archmage Charm, draw 2 cards. And they surrender. Okay, so we definitely saw the potential of Ornithopter. That's really all I wanted to know. Alright, so we played a bunch of games with this deck, and I was a bit skeptical of the Ornithopter edition, but at the end, it pulled through. It really did. It really did. Especially against the control deck too. They played a tap land on turn 1. We got to go first, and we skipped our turn 1 as well because we had an Ornithopter. And then on turn 2, we played a Ropeline Attendant, dropping double Ornithopters, which would create 5 creatures onto the board. And that enabled us to convoke with the Knight Errant of Eos. All that in one turn. That was incredible. That was actually incredible. So the Ornithopter actually has a lot of synergy in this deck, even with Samwise Gamgee, right? So for example, if the Ropeline Attendant perpetually gave the Ornithopter ability to create a bunch of tokens, later on, let's say Samwise Gamgee is the only card on the battlefield with 3 food tokens. If there's no other legendaries in the graveyard, you can actually get back an Ornithopter, which isn't, you know, it's not going to be the greatest, but hey, I mean, you have nothing in your hand, sacrifice 3 foods to get back an Ornithopter onto the battlefield, and all of a sudden, if the Ropeline Attendant gave the Ornithopter a bunch of token generations, then it's going to generate a bunch of tokens. That's really cool. So there's Synergy 1. That is probably synergy that you won't see pretty often, but it's definitely a synergy nonetheless, and that is definitely on the lower scale of the spectrum of what this Ornithopter can do. So Ornithopter, broken with Ropeline Attendant, has some synergy with Samwise Gamgee, has synergy with Knight Errant of Eos, letting you convoke earlier, synergy with Court of Calling, and it has synergy with Elven Chorus, and also sometimes like Samwise Gamgee, you might not have enough. Like sometimes you have to play the Wolf Strider first, right? And then you top deck a Samwise Gamgee, but you don't have a food on the battlefield. So despite you being able to play the Samwise Gamgee, you might not be able to combo that turn, right? In cases like that, like say you Cauldron Familiar, play Ropeline Attendant, Wolf Strider, you top deck Samwise Gamgee. You think you won, but you didn't because you only have 3 mana. You don't have any 1 mana cards. Then you play Samwise Gamgee. Playing the Samwise Gamgee itself doesn't generate a food token, but you do have an Ornithopter in your hand that could generate a food token and win you the game. So despite you not having a 1 mana card, a 0 mana card could do it. So there's also that as well. What I actually didn't quite like was the Delighted Halfling. So I've been on the fence about the Delighted Halfling. There's some really cool stuff with Delighted Halfling, but I'm not really sure if it's actually worth playing the Delighted Halfling. Because here's the thing. This card only generates a colorless source. And that is pretty bad in a color-intensive deck like this with Ropeline Attendant. So if you started with Delighted Halfling and you have Ropeline Attendant in your hand and then you have Cauldron Familiar, right? Then you can't play out your hand on turn 2. That's pretty bad. Although, however, Delighted Halfling does have some use cases. Like, okay, let's say opponent's holding up counterspell. You know opponent's holding up counterspells. You already have a Cauldron Familiar, the Samwise Gamgee on the battlefield. All you have to do is get out Wolf Strider or Yagamoth, but you can't, right? Because you know they have a counterspell. But you have a Court of Calling. This is when you can Court of Calling for Delighted Halfling on their turn. Because let's say this is like turn 3, right? Let's say this is turn 3. You don't have that much mana. You Court of Calling for Delighted Halfling. That could win you the game if you have Yagamoth in your hand, and all they have is a counterspell. So, I mean, there is definitely some use cases with Delighted Halfling, and obviously Samwise Gamgee also is a legendary as well. So that's also something that you should consider. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about this Delighted Halfling. Otherwise, I'd be glad to play something like, oh, not this one, not that one. Avexon's Pilgrim. I think Avexon's Pilgrim is a really good card for this deck because this enables you to play Ropeline Attendant even if you started with the Forest and then play another card the next turn. Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elf doesn't quite do that because let's say you play a Forest and then play Elvish Mystic, then you'd have to have exactly another green card to go along with the Ropeline Attendant on turn 2. You can't go Cauldron Familiar. And that's definitely something that you can mess around with. Since there's no Orcish Bowmaster anymore, Avexon's Pilgrim, I think, fits the deck very nicely instead of the Delighted Halfling. But as I've said before, Delighted Halfling can kind of win you the game sometimes with some Court of Calling shenanigans that I've explained. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. It was fun experimenting with Ornithopter. I had a little bit of a doubt until the very end of the game where I literally just popped off. But usually you do want to definitely sideboard the Ornithopters out just because you're bringing so many stuff. So yeah. And before I go, thank you guys for watching. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the video so far, leave a like, comment below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.